You know that huge debate in business right now, the one that pits automation against people? Well, what if it's all based on a false choice? For years, we've been told we have to choose between efficiency and our best talent. But what if the real answer isn't about picking a side, but about creating a whole new kind of hero inside your company? Today, we're going to dig into the rise of the automation intrapreneur.
Here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with what's called the automation paradox. Basically, why so many of these big efficiency projects just fail. Then we'll meet our hero, the intrapreneur, and break down the powerful automate, elevate, scale cycle they create. After that, we'll see how this is a huge win for both your people and your bottom line, lay out a practical blueprint for how to do it, and wrap up by showing you how this whole thing builds a workforce that's truly ready for the future.
All right, let's dive right in. So here's the paradox. A company spends a ton of money on automation, expecting a huge leap forward. But instead of excitement, they get resistance. Why does this happen? Well, it's because that traditional top-down approach makes the smartest people in the building feel like they're about to be replaced. It's a classic case of a good idea gone bad.
At its core, this whole paradox really comes down to two totally different ways of thinking about automation. On the one hand, you've got the old playbook. Automation is decided in the boardroom, it's all about cutting costs, and IT is in total control. But on the other side, there's a much more powerful idea. What if you empower the people who actually do the work to be the innovators themselves? It's the huge difference between commanding people and actually enabling them.
And here's exactly why that top-down model just doesn't work anymore. It's got massive blind spots, it's way too slow, it's incredibly expensive, and because it's planned so far away from the action, it completely misses what's called the long tail. That's all the thousands of little, frustrating, time-wasting problems that only the people on the front lines even know exist. And every single one of those problems is a missed opportunity.
So, if that old model is so broken, what's the solution? This is where the story gets really interesting. We need to introduce a new character into this whole drama, the automation intrapreneur. So what in the world is an intrapreneur? Well, think of it like this. They're an entrepreneur, but on the inside of a company. So an automation intrapreneur is an employee who doesn't just clock in and do their job. They're actively hunting for the boring, repetitive parts of their work and then using the company's own tools to build solutions and automate them away. They aren't waiting for permission. They just solve the problem.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the massive mindset shift. We have to stop asking, how can we automate this person's job, and start asking, how do we give this person the tools to solve their own process problems? The whole focus shifts from replacement to empowerment.
And this idea of empowerment isn't just a one-time thing. It's a virtuous cycle. It's like a flywheel that starts spinning, gaining more and more momentum with three simple but really powerful steps: automate, elevate, and scale.
Okay, now pay close attention to step 2, elevate. This is the absolute game changer. An employee finds a way to automate a big chunk of their job. And what happens next? They're not laid off, they get a promotion. The company sends a clear signal. The skill of eliminating work is way more valuable than just doing it. Then, from that new elevated role, they help scale their success by teaching others how to do it too. And the cycle starts all over again.
When you get this cycle spinning, the result is this incredible dual win. It's not a compromise. It's a strategy that's amazing for your people and amazing for your business. Let's break down exactly how that works.
The first win, and you could argue it's the most important one, is all about your people. In a world where finding and keeping great talent is everything, this model basically becomes your secret weapon for spotting and holding on to your absolute best employees.
Just think about it for a second. This system naturally finds your best problem solvers, the real innovators hiding in your teams. And by rewarding them for their smarts with a promotion, you totally change the conversation around automation. Suddenly, it's not a threat anymore. It's actually the fastest way to get ahead in your career. You're not just stopping people from leaving, you're building real, deep loyalty.
All right, so that's the people side. Win number 2 is all about pure business performance. Now let's be clear, this is not some fluffy, feel-good HR program. This is a decentralized engine that just systematically makes your whole organization faster, smarter, and more efficient.
Remember that long tail of annoying problems we talked about? This model unlocks it completely. So instead of one massive, slow-moving automation project, you suddenly have hundreds of small, smart, fast fixes bubbling up from the people who know the work best. The combined effect is huge, and it frees up everybody else to focus on the things that humans do best, like strategy, creative thinking, and building great relationships with clients.
I love this quote because it completely redefines what a top performer even is. The star player isn't the person who can grind through 100 invoices an hour anymore. No, the real MVP is the person who builds a simple bot that can process 1,000. It's a huge shift from celebrating brute force to celebrating brain power.
Okay, so the why is pretty clear. This is a powerful idea. But what about the how? Let's get practical for a minute and look at the actual blueprint for building this system inside your own organization.
So the technical term for our Automation Intrapreneur is a citizen developer. All this means is it's a regular business user, someone in finance or marketing or operations who is not a professional coder. But they can use simple IT-approved, low-code platforms to build their own tools and solutions. And this isn't some fantasy. Huge companies like Generali and Shell are already doing this and saving millions of hours of work. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't this just the Wild West? Chaos? Nope. To prevent chaos, you need what's called a Center of Excellence, or a COE. But don't think of them as the police. Think of them as more like air traffic control. They provide the approved tools, the training, and the guardrails so that people can innovate safely. This completely changes the role of IT, from being a gatekeeper to being a true partner.
So how do you prove that this is actually working? You can't just look at one number. You need a balanced scorecard. Of course, you're going to track the obvious stuff, like hours saved. But you also have to measure the strategic wins. Are the employees who participate in this program staying with the company longer? How many new automations are being launched each quarter? This gives you a true 360-degree view of the real value you're creating.
Okay, for our last section, let's zoom out and look at the long-term prize here. Because this isn't just about making things a little more efficient today, this is about fundamentally building a new kind of workforce that is ready for absolutely anything the future throws at it.
What's so cool is that this model literally creates a brand new career path inside your company. Someone might start out as a process optimizer, just fixing things for their immediate team, but they can grow into an automation champion, mentoring their whole department. And eventually, they could become an automation strategist, helping to set the innovation agenda for the entire company. It's a clear ladder from tactical fixer to strategic leader.
And as your entrepreneurs automate all that routine work, it frees up everyone else to get skilled up in the areas where humans will always have the edge over machines. We're talking about complex problem solving, real creativity, emotional intelligence, and a deep understanding of AI and data. You're not just automating tasks, you're elevating the capabilities of your entire team.
So, we'll leave you with one final question to take back and chew on with your team. In this new world of AI and automation, who is truly more valuable? The person who is incredibly good at doing the work? Or the person who is brilliant enough to eliminate that work forever? Seriously, think about it, because your answer to that question might just define the entire future of your company.